President Trump's border wall appears to be moving forward at a great cost to many. One group that is bearing the cost are the members of the O'odham Nation. They are calling attention to the disruption of their lives, of their sacred places, and of animal migration routes that have been in use for centuries. According to a federal government's lawsuit to oppose delays in the completion of the border barrier, 44 miles of the 30-foot-high border wall will be constructed in the Organ Pipe Cactus National Monument, Cabeza Prieta National Wildlife Refuge, and the San Pedro Riparian Conservation Area, all of which are UNESCO-recognized biosphere reserves. To find out how this project will affect native border communities and the ecosystem, we visited the town of Ajo, South Arizona. From there, a group of local native activists guided us to a small pond called Quito Baquito, inside the Tohono O'odham Nation in the Organ Pipe Cactus National Monument, an area where the border wall is currently being upgraded and expanded.
That right there is Mexico, right here. And this right here is the old wall they have. As we can see, it's just a vehicle barrier, so trucks and cars can't cross. But it does allow for animals to go under and cross the border. For example, to that water source that's over there.
Quito Baquito is an oasis in the middle of the Sonoran Desert, where people and animals have stopped to drink from the pond and to refresh in the shade for centuries. It is a place where temperatures easily average 110 degrees Fahrenheit or more during the day, and as we later measured, 100 degrees Fahrenheit at night.
Okay, so right here is where we have the border barrier between the United States and Mexico. And right here is Quito Baquito. So this is 150 yards. This land that you see, the space you see, is what they want to clear in order to create this renovated wall, and it would interrupt the life of the spring. And it also, like, the fear that we here should have is that it would not only interrupt the natural spring, but it would deplete the drilling for the wells to complete the wall would definitely interrupt the natural flow and life of this spring. And us as Hiachid, we would not be alive, we would not be here if it had not been for this spring.
That could be a reason why, in this area, the border wall was just a small fence that allowed for people and animals to cross the border. The local wildlife includes javelina, coyotes, mountain lions, pronghorn sheep, owls, hawks, and 270 other species of birds and plants, including the magnificent saguaros cactus. Ortega and David both contend that to bulldoze a 150-foot corridor next to the wall could irreparably affect the ecosystem of the area.
This particular body of water is a sacred spring for Hiachid O'odham. Water is life, and this spring has been the life for plants, animals, all desert life, and Hiachid O'odham people. It's how our people survived out here in this very dry land. This is the one source of water that we would have to stop on a journey, or then there was also Hiachid O'odham living here.
In fact, in this map provided by the Center for Biological Diversity, we can see the importance of Quito Baquito. It is the only source in the area not only for water, but also for fish and potential hunting grounds, catching animals that are trying to drink. For a nomadic group, this would be the center of daily life. Now the area will be literally cut in half, and all the animals in the southern area may face dire consequences.
And we saw, before we came here, we saw plenty of footprints of animals. And so it's still very apparent that all of the animals around here depend on this spring as its life source. And with Trump's imminent wall, they started over in Lukeville, and they're working their way down here as we speak. And they're not, they're not there yet, but even drilling anywhere near Quito Baquito spring it's a desecration to us as Hiachid O'odham people and to the land.
It is frustrating to know that this is part of colonization, and the classification part of genocide. This is part of corporate America. You know, for us, Hiachit is not about the next president. It's not about policies. It's about the land. It's about the people. It's about the history. It's about the future, our future generations.
Ofelia Rivas is an elder of the Tohono O'odham Nation. She lives a couple hundred yards from the border, so she has seen the buildup of border enforcement up close.
You know, because of Trump and really fast-tracking the border, putting up the wall, and all the funds that's been diverted to build this wall, it affected us in a way that all this area is O'odham lands.
In part 2 of the story, we'll review the ultra-modern surveillance system being used at the border. Stay tuned with the Real News Network for more on this issue.